In November of 2012, an Australian company called Metro Trains Melbourne wanted to raise awareness about railway safety. So they teamed up with McCann Agency to create a public service announcement, or a PSA. PSAs are serious videos that show you the outcome of not being careful, but Metro did something different. They created these cartoony bean characters and showed them dying in very dumb ways, like by setting their hair on fire or poking a stick at a grizzly bear. It was in complete contrast to your usual PSA, where it tells you that you might accidentally expire if you're not careful. But Dumb Ways to Die called the ones in these scenarios a big, stupid idiot. The music video was uploaded to YouTube in November of 2012, and in just 48 hours, it went from nothing to almost 3 million views. The song was catchy, the characters were memorable, and most importantly, the video barely talks about trains until the very end. Half the people who watched it probably didn't even realize that it was a PSA, and that's exactly why it worked. It's much easier to get someone to listen to a funny song than a serious warning. And with the music video getting more and more views, the internet did what the internet always does. People started making parodies. There was Dumber Ways to Die, Dumb Ways to Go Blind, Smart Ways to Live, and many more. Some were funny, most were not, but every parody was sending more people back to the original video. After the success of the music video, Metro created an entire book, a collection of posters, playing cards, and even IRL advertising that encouraged people to take the pledge by hitting a red button and promising not to do dumb things around trains. And it seems like the people don't like to be called dumb, since according to Metro, after the campaign launched, railway near-miss incidents dropped by 30%. The goal wasn't selling a product or money. The goal was stopping people from getting themselves injured around trains. And somehow, a song about beans dying in stupid ways managed to do exactly that. I may be dumb, but I'm not fucking stupid. You ain't gonna be catching me falling on a train track, dumbass. But a few months later, they did this cringy collab with a life insurance company that people hated.
Dumbest way of all to die? Having no life insurance.
Which was also one of the first signs of them selling out. But unlike that collab, the next thing Metro did was actually a huge success. In May of 2013, Metro decided to branch out and make a mobile game, and so Dumb Ways to Die, the game, was born. It was a WarioWare-style collection of small minigames that they actually translated really well from the music video. You have to tap, flick, swipe, or tilt your device to save the beans from their dumb deaths, and with each save, the game gets faster and faster. It featured the same characters from the music video and even added a couple of new ones with their own scenarios. But the message remained intact. The game also encouraged you to hit the red button and not do dumb things. And within a short time, it had tens of millions of downloads and became one of the most recognizable mobile games of the decade. You didn't even need to know what Metro Trains was. For a lot of people, including myself, the mobile game was their first introduction to the franchise. Not the music video, the game. And so, Dumb Ways to Die started growing even more. Following the massive success of the first game, Metro realized that there's some real nice cash in here. So they made Dumb Ways to Die 2 in November of 2014, and it somehow became even more successful than the first one. This time the focus was more on Dumb Ways to Die in sports, and it featured new characters and minigames with a slightly more detailed art style. And in order to ride the waves while they're still going, Metro decided to make even more games. They made Dumb Ways to Draw, which was a spin-off where you drew lines to save the beans, and also Dumb Ways to Die 3 in December of 2017, which was not successful. Followed by a couple more low-quality spin-offs that would eventually get taken off the App Store. Now by this time, the franchise had already lost most of the hype around it and the people had moved on. The series did have over 300 million downloads and over 7 billion game sessions played, but Metro couldn't capitalize on it anymore. So in October of 2021, they sold the rights to an Australian game studio called Playside for $1.6 million. And then the downfall began. Playside continued making newer games and more sequels to the old ones, like Dumb Ways to Draw 2, Dumb Ways to Die Junior games, Dumb Ways to Die 4, and a list of cancelled spin-off games. But in 2022, they did something very disappointing. They started an NFT project under the name of Beans. They really are milking a dead cow here. But the franchise is still kicking today with new releases like Dumb Ways to Survive and Dumb Ways to Party. Playside also did something else besides NFTs, which was modernizing the older games. If you play the first game right now, it has become another cash grab slop just like any other game on the App Store. When you finish a minigame, the game gives you an ad. When you fail a minigame, the game gives you an ad. When you press on anything, you get an ad. You can unlock cosmetics, but to use them, you need to watch 7 ads. You can double your coins by watching an ad, but even if you press no thanks, the game gives you the ad anyways. The newer minigames are also very uninteresting and low quality. And they also removed the pledge for some reason? Wasn't that the original point of the series? The original campaign was trying to stop people from doing dumb things. The modern version mostly wants you to watch ads. Somewhere along the way, the message got lost. But just when it looked like the people had completely forgotten about the franchise, it got a boost of publicity again in the form of an Instagram and TikTok audio in 2024. Where people would make videos of them getting hurt in stupid ways, but the clips would stop right before the climax, which once again made the game rise to the top charts for a short while. Right now, the music video is sitting at over 350 million views, and it's considered one of the most widely spread PSAs of all time. Dumb Ways to Die started as a train safety campaign. Then it became one of the biggest mobile game franchises of the 2010s, then it became NFTs, and in the end, it became another ad-filled mobile game slop that's still alive somehow. But despite all of that, the original idea did work. More than a decade later, people still remember Dumb Ways to Die, because a funny song managed to do something that most safety campaigns never could. It got people to listen, and it saved lives because of it.